What's good, Washington Commander fan? This is your boy Livewire Sports Entertainment. Well, sorry, sports media. All right, today we're gonna dive into a little news, nothing big, but just something little. Um, we're gonna talk Mr. Kirk Cousins. Now, I want to send a shout out to the Washington Football Maniacs for being on my live stream last Thursday. Was a great show. You can always go back and watch the recap on YouTube under my channel, Livewire Sports Media. Great guys. Definitely diehard Washington fans. Had a great conversation with them, so shout out to them. Now this one is for Greg because he brought this up about a couple of weeks ago about him saying that if the Commanders were interested in a veteran free agent person, could the Commanders be interested in bringing Kirk Cousins back? Now, I also said about Russell Wilson too. There's not been a talk about Russell Wilson could potentially come to the Commanders. Now, the Commanders do have a lot of money. They could offer Russell or they could offer Kirk Cousins. Now, would Kirk Cousins come back just for the money, or would he come back to help lead his team in another direction to finally win some playoff games, finally try to get this team over the hump or try to make appearances in the Super Bowl? That's all the questions that I have. If he's coming back just for the money and he's not coming back to be part of anything winning, then no, I won't be interested in him. But I think he will be greatly upgraded from what we had. I think he's to me, even though Kirk Cousins I call him the Dak Prescott, in the NFC East, because both of them have these great games, but they will give you some terrible games. They will not get you over the hump. They're just going to get you a great winning season, and then when it comes down to playoffs, they collapse. Kirk Cousins, he has made his money. I mean, so would his motivation still be money again? Yeah, that's something that you're going to have to look into. I mean, you go see Adam Peters and Dan Quinn or Josh Harris, they're not going to be playing around with Kirk Cousins because they're going to want to know if Kirk going to want to come here and want to be a part of the process and lead his team to winning a title, a championship, a Super Bowl. So if he just coming there to get money and have lackluster performances and have these great games, and then he start turning the ball over, throwing interceptions and stuff like that, and his team start losing, then no, it's not even worth it. But it's worth entertaining, say the least. So I think that's good. Ben Stein of The Athletic also, he comments, say Kirk Cousins is open to return to the Commanders. Why would Cousins return to Washington? Yeah, yes, things have changed, but the Commanders also have plenty of money to pay Kirk Cousins, and that's why I have a lot of concerns. It's the money part. Kirk Cousins, he was with the organization before, and they didn't pay him. They didn't value him. He was there with Bruce Allen and all of them. And he got franchise tag twice before he left out. Now Kirk, and he, one of his signature games he won, and he said, "You like that? You like that?" So that was one of his most signature things. So, but Cousins also, he could go to the 49ers with Kyle Shanahan, but they wouldn't need him because the fact of the matter is that, but also Cousins is close with Kyle Shanahan, who has a strong relationship with Adam Peters and Coach Dan Quinn. So that weight goes a little bit long ways. Now, like I said, Kirk Cousins will be coming off Achilles injury. His movement, how he moves, how, is he's going to be, shell shocked. He's not the most nimble guy in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? He has a pretty good release. He does have a decent arm, but his movement is not so great because you got to be able to move. And I don't think Cliff Kingsbury offense is going to allow Kirk Cousins to be that kind of quarterback that navigates in and out the pocket, you know what I'm saying? Because Kirk going to have to move. He can't just stand there as a statue. So me personally, I don't see him as the guy coming to Washington. But he's open to coming back, so that says a lot. Then you have to design the offense around him, you know what I'm saying, instead of how you normally would want to run your offense. Because the Commanders still could draft a quarterback in the second round, especially if Michael Penix or Bo Nix slips down into the second round. Washington would have a chance. And especially Washington could also trade out the number 2 pick and get more draft capital, especially, bringing in a veteran guy like a Russell Wilson and a Kirk Cousins. This is where I had did a video a week ago about the Russell Wilson situation. Russ and Kirk Cousins are worth a look. To me, I won't sign them no more than a 2-year deal, because if you have a chance to get somebody, I don't think JJ, like I said earlier in my earlier video, I don't think Drake May, JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix, I think they all starters day one. But I think that four of the six quarterbacks is going in the first round. And that 4 is J.J. McCartney, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams. They going in the first round automatically. Now the rest, that's a story for another day. But like I said, if Washington wants stability at the quarterback position, and they're not really trusting Sam Howell at this point, and that could help Sam Howell out to have a veteran like a Russ or Kirk Cousins in there, because Kirk Cousins been there before, but he hasn't played in this kind of offensive style. So you definitely will have to beef up the offensive line really good. You have to really have a strong running game to complement. You got to see the things that he done. He did run a West Coast offense over there. He did throw out some gaudy yards over there with Justin Jefferson and all of them guys over there. And he did have a good running game. He was there with Dalvin Cook was there. Alexander Madison was there. So he had a strong running game. Kirk could put up numbers, and then you had a great tight end over there with Hawkinson, the trade they made from Detroit. So if you put offense like that around Kirk Cousins, I think he could flourish. He could definitely flourish. But to expect for him to move around out the pocket, nah, you don't want that out of him, because sometimes bad things happen, and you definitely, like I said, you definitely have to protect Kirk Cousins. You have to have this offensive line intact the way it is. Now, Kirk Cousins did say he wants to play for a winner, and he will have options. Washington window doesn't seem to mirror Cousins' next few years. But if the Commanders sign Cousins, then business is open for the number 2 pick. Washington already has 6 picks in the top 130 picks. 6 in the top 130 picks, and in 2024 in the 2024 draft. And if they trade back, could land a massive haul of picks and rebuild this roster while contending as soon as next season. So that's like I said, and Adam Peters just said at the combine, they are open to trading up, and they're open to trading back. So with that being said, could Kirk Cousins come back? Could a Russell Wilson be there? There's a lot of, like I said before, in every video that y'all have heard me talk, I have said this repeatedly. Washington is in the best position that they could ever be in right now. And they have so many options to go either way. But the odds are still that the Commanders will select a quarterback at number 2, which that comes to my next question, because they are reporting that some reports have Washington selected Jaden Daniels. Some have Washington selected Drake May. Don't know. Um, don't know if all of that is possible or might happen, but um, but also, in the report says you are not often in the position to begin a new regime with the number 2 pick in the draft with multiple top quarterback prospects. But what if Washington felt uncomfortable with this group of quarterbacks? I don't see how they could feel uncomfortable with this group of quarterbacks because all of these group of quarterbacks is pretty damn good. But for the first time in seemingly forever, Washington has options and good options. That's what I said. This is what I keep saying. Washington has great options right now, and I think that Adam Peters is going to explore every option as possible. And like I have said before, if Adam Peters feel that they could get somebody like a Bo Nix or Michael Penix in the next round, and not necessarily waste a number 2 pick up on a guy like Jaden Daniels and all of them guys, and brought a Kirk Cousins in and rebuilt this whole team instantly into a winner, I could see that happening. I definitely could see that happening for this team. I could see Washington going for it all in 2 years' time. Because guess what? Dan Quinn gonna have the defense ready. You're gonna have a bunch of picks, and you could go into next year's draft with your own number 1 and say whoever you trade with number 1, because there also been talks that Minnesota looking to trade with them. They could trade to number 11. They could trade with the Atlanta Falcons. They could trade with somebody else to move that number 1 pick. So Washington could have 2 number 1 picks next year and a third or an extra 4th, and with the other picks they got down the line. Easy. They could rebuild this team within this year and this year and next year instantly. They just have to get the quarterback, and they got to make sure which way they want to go with the quarterback. Rebuilding this roster won't have to take 5 years. It could just take a year and a half or 2 years. You have to get the quarterback. Either they go after somebody like Russell Wilson, who's a little bit mobile than Kirk Cousins, or you want to get Kirk Cousins and everything. But me personally, if they don't draft a quarterback and they don't draft a quarterback to the second round, that's fine with me. I think rebuilding this offensive line is going to be good, but you never know. I do believe this is what I feel. I feel there's a chance that we're going to go after either Kirk Cousins or Russell Wilson just to see if we could get them and how much it's going to cost. That's going to be the key. Money is going to be the key. If Kirk Cousins wants this X amount of money, we ain't going to touch him. Russell Wilson said that he want to take the minimum. Now, if he wants to take the vet minimum for the next year or two, then he's worth to bring in, and then that's when you could find a way to maneuver your way back to get the quarterback that you want in the second round. So we'll see, but it's going to be very, very interesting. Kirk Cousins has a possibility to come back to Washington. Who knows? We'll see though. Captain Kirk, you like that? Never know. But this is your boy Livewire Sports Media. I'm out again. Like I said before, continue to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell every time I drop a hardcore video, and also check out my WordPress blog. I always drop Commanders articles and blogs on there. So Livewire Sports Entertainment.com. I will post the link into the description. Until then, peace.